Now available in paperback and Kindle, All About Marilyn. Learn all about the struggles of a faded former teen sitcom star in this absolutely fabulous 5-star screenplay. Get All About Marilyn in paperback and Kindle on Amazon.com today. Singer and actress Halle Bailey recently broke up with her boyfriend and baby daddy, DDG, after being in a relationship with him for 2 years. Now, DDG announced on his Instagram that he and Halle Bailey have decided to break up and go their separate ways, even though they have a nearly year-old son, Halo, that they had together as they were in the middle of this relationship. Now, a lot of people would want to go out here and deride DDG as some sort of pookie who basically, as some black women would love to say, ruined Halle Bailey's life. However, when I take a look at Halle Bailey, the only person who put Halle Bailey on the road to becoming a single mother was Halle Bailey herself, and that's because she was indoctrinated into feminism, like I talk about in my book, The Woman Crisis. And as she was indoctrinated into feminism, she basically wound up on a paradigm of failure, like I talk about in my book, Why 70% of Black Women Are Single. Now, Halle Bailey started out a career in entertainment with a lot of promise with her partner Chloe as part of the singing group Chloe and Halle, and was on her way to bigger stardom as an actress, and basically got one of the biggest roles of her career that would have become a big break had we not been in the era of social justice, when she got cast as to play Princess Ariel in Disney's live-action remake of The Little Mermaid. And as she got cast to star in that remake of The Little Mermaid, a lot of people talked about how she was going to be the first Black Little Mermaid and be the first Black Disney princess to be in a live-action film. Unfortunately, even after this film came out in I think about 2019, it went out to become a big box office failure. I think it was 2020 actually, but it came out to be a box office failure. And after that peak as related to her career, Halle Bailey basically made one of the worst moves, and one of the worst moves as related to her overall career, as related to how she approached relationships with DDG. Now, DDG in and of himself, I don't know if he's a bad guy, because he's basically a guy who was, I believe, college educated and went on to YouTube, built up his own music career, and went on to have great success as a musician, and was basically looking for a partner that would share common interest in Halle Bailey, and the relationship looked like it was going to have a lot of promise. And even though some people wanted to deride this black man as being a pookie, I clearly see where Halle Bailey is definitely accountable as related to the whole direction of that relationship, because she had been indoctrinated into feminism, and because she learned how to be a feminist and not a woman, she basically wound up getting involved with this guy on the wrong terms, because when it comes to a woman, if she's looking for a relationship, she naturally wants to be a helpmeet to a man and wants to help meet that man's needs, and she wants to submit to that man and work with that man as a partner. However, when I look at Halle Bailey as one of these feminist indoctrinated women, she wasn't looking to help meet DDG's needs and helping him build as related to a career in entertainment. No, what she was looking to do, as I believe, was looking for a man who she thought would be far under her and look to submit, for him to submit to her. And that basically made it where both these partners became incompatible with each other. I go in depth on this in my book, The Woman Crisis, because whenever you have a man and a feminist come together, what happens is the feminist wants to be in the position of power that the man has and be in the leadership role that God has given men. And that makes it where both that man and that woman go out here and start fighting with each other. And that possibly possibly was what was happening with Halle Bailey and DDG behind the scenes. And as they got behind the scenes and they got in this power struggle, what happened possibly is that this started the paradigm of failure to begin, a paradigm of failure as related to their relationship, because as I talk about in my book, Why 70% of Black Women Are Single, whenever a man gets involved with one of these black women or one of these feminist indoctrinated women, what those women look to do when they're feeling powerless and feeling emasculated by this woman who is out here looking to be strong and independent and looking to defy his authority, is they participate in three responses. One response is that they go out here and look to go out and participate in physical violence because they feel powerless as related to this woman. Then another is where they try to go out here and establish dominance, where they try to impregnate the woman. And the third is where they leave the relationship. And I believe what happened here was that after DDG possibly tried to establish dominance, or Halle Bailey looked to go out here and look to try to get a baby to hope to secure the relationship, this is where both partners had to deal with the incompatibility that they had with each other. And after having this child, which they hoped that would make the relationship closer, but basically drove them apart because they were in the middle of this power struggle. As they were in the middle of this power struggle, what happened with Halle Bailey and DDG nearly a year after the birth of their son, Halo, which I find to be quite questionable, that a woman would look to have her son named after her and not after the man. Usually with the firstborn son, the woman wants to have the son named after the father to continue the legacy. But I believe what happened here with Halle Bailey is that she basically is one of these feminist indoctrinated women. And as a feminist indoctrinated woman, what she wanted to do was, again, make it all about her. And that's where I speculate that she possibly wanted to have the baby to try to secure the relationship. And as she looked to secure the relationship, this drove both of them further apart, because what happened with DDG is he was possibly feeling emasculated as related to being involved with Halle Bailey. And as he felt emasculated and felt more and more powerless in her presence, this is possibly what led to the situation deteriorating between Halle Bailey and DDG, and eventually led to DDG deciding to go his separate ways, even though he had a child with this woman, deciding to go his separate ways because he couldn't deal with this feminist indoctrinated woman, a woman who basically is going from being at the top of her image as related to being a star as she was under the sea, to falling down to a place called Bust Downtown, where her social marketplace value is going to drop significantly because she's going to go from being Halle Bailey, the beautiful woman who most guys wanted to imagine getting themselves with, to becoming the baby mama that every man wants to avoid. Because when it comes to baby mamas, most men don't want to get involved or even consider a baby mama because they basically don't want to deal with any of the drama as related to them. Because when it comes to a baby mama, she's already got the spirit and DNA of another man inside of her from the sexual relation she had with that other man. And because that woman's emotions and spirit are tied to that other man, DDG, she's already connected to that man. So no man really wants to get involved with her because her heart will always belong to another man. Even though she broke up with that man, her heart is still with her. That man's DNA is still inside of her. That man's spirit is inside of her. So that woman cannot bond with that another man in a relationship. That man cannot connect with that woman or get close to that woman. That man cannot go out here and share in that relationship because she's already sharing herself with another man. And that's the start of Halle Bailey's problems Once she leaves this relationship, that's the start of her having issues as a single mother, is she won't be able to get close to another man. The other thing that makes it where no man would want to deal with her is the headaches that he possibly will have to deal with, because he will never be able to be the head of that household, never will be able to be the head of that household and lead that woman, one, because she's a feminist, and basically will not follow the lead of a man, because feminists want to get in a power struggle with a man over the household, because she doesn't want to submit to God's order. And two, when it comes to the feminist indoctrinated woman, she basically isn't going to, again, look to follow another man's lead as related to things, because she's going to make her son a priority, and make that son a priority because that son is the child of that other man. So that man is never going to be a head of household as related to a relationship with Halle Bailey. He will never be able to get close to her and be able to lead that woman. So Halle Bailey basically is one person who guys aren't going to want to consider as related to relationships, isn't going to want to consider as related to relationships, because a lot of guys will see this woman, again, ain't going to be available to him at all, because women are emotional, and she will not be emotionally available to you because, again, she's available to another man. And I talk about this in a classic blog and a classic video, Why Real Men Avoid Single Mothers, that video, a blog and a video that went viral. I talk about how this woman can't make you a priority, and again, can't be out here and have a relationship with you and commit to you, because she's already committed to another man's child and basically another man. And that leaves the door open for DDG to come back and cause some baby daddy drama, because even though DDG says he broke up with her, he's going to be stuck in this woman's life for the next 18 years. And that means that the ex and the baby daddy gonna be there. And any guy who gets involved with Halle Bailey basically is going to be set up for a lot of grief. Where you're dealing with a woman who is not, again, emotionally available. She'll be physically available now and again, if you can get her around, and she won't be emotionally there, because she's basically going to be talking about this other dude straight in front of you. And as she is involved with this dude is going to start popping back up like a killer in a horror movie pop up like a dude in a horror movie. That's what this dude is gonna do, and that's what the kind of grief you're gonna be dealing with as related to baby mama drama that will make it where most guys will want nothing to do with Halle Bailey, as her social marketplace value will drop 50, 60, 70, even 80% off the original social marketplace price. And when it comes to Halle Bailey, not only is her social marketplace value going to drop lower than a $5 food stamp without the book, basically her career prospects in Hollywood are going to drop even just as significantly, because when it comes to the optics of Halle Bailey, they are not ones that the studio can sell at this point. They're not things that the studio can sell as related to optics, because the woman who played the Little Mermaid was a single woman who was basically had a clean image, and that was something they could use to sell to children. And Halle Bailey basically destroyed her own career, because as related to optics, one of the things that the studios did not want for a performer is for that performer to be a single mother. No, that's not a good optic for someone who is trying to sell movies and sell movies to children. And with Halle Bailey, basically, she was selling products to children. The Disney and studios that sell to children really have no reason to go out here and consider Halle Bailey at this point. They have no reason to consider her as related to considering her for future projects because it optically looks bad for one of their stars to go out here and be a single mother. And it was already looking bad that she was having a child out of wedlock. So Halle Bailey basically at this point, her career is torpedoed at this point, and torpedoed basically because what this woman didn't really look out for was the bigger picture for her life. No, at the height of her career, she had been cast to be Princess Ariel, the Little Mermaid, but sadly, the Little Swirl Maid basically wound up swirling down the drain as related to her career, as related to optics, because she didn't really go out here and look out for her overall career. And what's sad is that she didn't have an agent or a manager to tell her how to navigate a course for her career. She didn't have those people as related to her giving her advice, because any smart agent or manager would have told her, yeah, if you want to have a relationship with DDG, that's one thing, but one of the things you want to do is go out here and look to marry this man. Look to marry this man so that you can maintain your optics as related to your image, because it's not a good look for a person who stars in films that appeal to children to be involved with a guy out of wedlock, and even worse, to be involved with a guy out of wedlock and have his child as a baby mama. And this situation gets progressively worse for Halle Bailey as a black woman, because as a black woman, she has gone from being an actress that would possibly get considered for roles that as related to appealing to children and even adults, to now basically being on the road to fading as a star, like I talk about in my screenplay All About Marilyn. Because when it comes to black actresses, it's very competitive for roles, because there are not that many roles out there written for black women, and Halle Bailey basically took herself straight out of that competition by destroying her professional image and her professional reputation by going out here and creating terms for a relationship with DDG that weren't really beneficial to her. These were the terms that she agreed to for this relationship with DDG that basically led to her winding up in this predicament, where she's gone from being a black actress with a promising career to winding up becoming one of the 70% of black women who are single, one of the 70% of black women who are single, who basically will be single for the rest of their lives, being single for the rest of their lives, because most men won't want anything to do with her, because she's a baby mama, and a baby mama who basically is filled with a lot of drama. And because she's filled with a lot of drama and brings a lot of drama and baggage, most guys aren't going to want to deal with Halle Bailey. And sadly, the person who put Halle Bailey on this road was Halle Bailey, because she didn't have the family to give her guidance and advice on how to live as a woman. And sadly, that family didn't give her that advice because they weren't following God and weren't following God's natural order, because under God's natural order, a woman learns her role as a woman, learns her role as a woman to be a helpmeet and help meet the needs of a man, so that he can go out here and help meet her needs by giving her leadership, guidance, and advice. Moreover, that man can teach her how to navigate a course as related to her life, and navigate a course to her life where she can maintain her optics and maintain her personal and professional reputation. That's what a man can go out here and give a woman. But Halle Bailey, basically because she was caught up in being indoctrinated into feminism, didn't want to follow the lead of a man, and basically wanted to go out here and be the independent woman, who had her career. But because she didn't have any sort of guidance, she basically, as she was out here being independent, wound up in a place where she had nobody to look out for her. And since nobody was looking out for her, nobody could protect her from these bad decisions and help her understand why you don't make decisions like getting a boyfriend like a DDG without family there to vet this guy, or agree to terms that don't benefit you in a relationship. This is why it's important for a girl to have a father to be able to introduce the man to and be vetted by other men. It's important for a girl to have a man vet these kind of guys so that they don't get involved in these relationships with guys that they're not emotionally ready for. Because I won't say that DDG is a pookie, because a pookie is a guy who basically he's just incompetent and incapable of being in a relationship. Incompetent and incapable because he's raised by a single mother. But when it comes to this whole situation, I have to wonder where Halle Bailey's father was as related to vetting this dude, because any good father is not going to let his daughter just get involved with any dude, because getting involved with any dude can basically mess up your daughter, mess up your daughter's life. And that's what's happening to, I believe, 24-year-old Halle Bailey, who has gone from, again, a promising career where she played a princess under the sea to starting to fall down the road to rock bottom with Bust Downtown, not understanding that her social marketplace value has dropped significantly now, and her chances of finding another man to be involved with or finding any sort of career advancement as related to the entertainment industry have fallen completely off. And this is all because a girl gets a miseducation as related to feminism, a miseducation as related to feminism that has taken Halle Bailey from being a star on the rise to winding up becoming a woman in crisis. Now, if you want to learn more about what leads to women winding up on the road to the paradigm of failure that prevents them from being able to actualize their potential and live an abundant life under Christ, you can pick up my book, Why 70% of Black Women Are Single, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. And you can also find that book at other digital booksellers like Draft the Digital, Barnes & Noble, Google Play, and other big box retailers like Walmart and Target. And if you want to learn why so many women wind up in a road where they don't know their role in God's order, and why they wind up on that road to a paradigm of failure like Halle Bailey, you can pick up my book, The Woman Crisis, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find The Woman Crisis at other online booksellers like Draft the Digital, Google Play, Barnes & Noble, and big box retailers like Walmart and Target. And if you'd like to see me make more videos talking about relationships and dating, you can drop a donation to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App by clicking the link in the description box, and that helps me stay on the air. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and e-readers, All About Nikki, a fabulous first season. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air meets Clueless in this absolutely fabulous African-American 1990s teen sitcom. Get all 13 episodes of All About Nikki, the fabulous first season, in paperback and e-readers today. Now available in paperback. From the author of the critically acclaimed book, The Man Crisis, comes The Woman Crisis. Learn why so many women have become lost in their quest to have it all in The Woman Crisis. Get your copy of The Woman Crisis in paperback at Amazon.com and online booksellers today. Now available for the first time in paperback, Why 70% of Black Women Are Single. Learn all the reasons why so many Black women can't find a husband, Why 70% of Black Women Are Single. Get your copy of Why 70% of Black Women Are Single on Amazon.com today. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.